1.
International superstar, Miss Butter B. Rocka!
You are now tuned in to Butter B. Rocka on Transparency Talks Podcast.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Transparency Talks Podcast. I am your girl, Butter B. Rocka. Listen, we have an amazing show for you today, but before I bring on my special guest, I just want to say thank you so much for everybody for always rocking with your girl, with my books, with my film Finding the Perfect Guy, with my podcast, Transparency Talks Podcast, and for always showing up at BBR Indie Films. Our next BBR Indie Films is May 14th, Wednesday, May 14th. We are celebrating some amazing indie filmmakers, their films. We have an amazing lineup of panelists, and we're celebrating your girl's birthday. So I want you guys to show up and show out. Look forward to seeing you. You can go to www.bbrindiefilms.com and come and hang out with us. So without further ado, he is an actor, a mentor, an acting coach, and community champion, empowering and inspiring actors through the Actors District. So can you please show some love for Mr. Tobi Gadison?
Yo, what up, Butter B. Rocka? What's cracking?
How you doing?
Man, you know what's so crazy? I set this desk up and I was like, oh my God, my desk is a mess. And so I kind of low-key trying to
I understand. I had to turn, I was having some, I don't know what was going on with the internet. And so I decided to turn it the opposite way. I was towards my studio and I turned it towards my living room, and hopefully we have some good reception and everything. But yeah.
Right.
So I like to dive right on in. Can you tell everybody a little bit of background about yourself?
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, man, that question always seems like to be the hardest. But born in DC, raised in Philly, product of Howard University, product of Freedom Theater. Man, I got into acting. Spent a lot of time in New Orleans and got into acting. Relatively young, like in elementary school, I was doing acting competitions or what have you, and then stopped for a while, and then decided to go professional right after I saw Don Cheadle in Devil in the Blue Dress, and right after that, it was just a wrap. After that, after I saw his performance, I was like, Lord, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And then, then I just started going crazy with the movies and crazy with independent film, major movies. And then when Katrina happened, moved to LA, lived there for about a year and a half or what have you, moved back to Philly, then just tore up the stages in Philly, got in a lot of really good training, and then started the Actors District. And then 5 years after that, landed here in Atlanta 3 years ago. And this is about as short as I can make it.
Well, you've definitely been tearing up Atlanta in a good way. Like every time somebody talks about acting coach and classes, your name is at the top of the list. So
really,
in 3 short years, you have come and really made a name for yourself. So that's really, really good.
Yeah, that's cool. Cause I at first, I'm not gonna hold you. How honest can we be here on
this is transparency. I want to be transparent.
Okay, so at first when I came down here, Butter, I was like, I didn't know what to do. You know, didn't have a place to hold the classes. I didn't have anything. And then my partner Wade was like, yo, you need to go to Triller. And I was like, what is a Triller? He's like, yeah, that's where they do all the Marvel movies. I was like, for real? He's like, yeah, they got space in a work share space building that they have. And so he set up the meeting. I went. It was great. And then that's where we were. And then for it was crazy because the first year was cool. The second year was kind of, rocky because I started paying attention to everybody else. You know what I'm saying? I started paying attention to, okay, what were the other schools doing? How do we compete? How do we fit into the marketplace? Because, Atlanta, this is the industry, and they got a lot of reputable classes here and things of that nature. And I actually started suffering, trying to pay attention to how do I offer something how do I offer something that's comparable? But it wasn't until really I started just focusing on us and what God had us for us. God had us, what He had us to do. And as soon as I did that, it just seemed like just all the doors just started to open.
Yeah, I could feel that.
Yeah.
So on that same topic, so what do you feel distinguishes your acting classes to others? Because I kind of have an idea.
That's a good question. Well, I can't speak for everybody else because, like I said, I took my eyes off of everybody else for a long time now. But I think that what we offer is just a conservatory style of training.
Mm-hmm.
One, the passion. Number two, I really love teaching and I care about the art and I care about the practitioners of the art. And I care about people's development for real. Like it literally isn't about money for us per se. I mean, it is a business, so we definitely have bills to pay and things of that nature. But I think everybody that comes to the Actors District would 100% tell you that, yeah, nah, I feel a connection in the family, and I feel like the coach, I feel like Tob really, really wants me to succeed because he labors he labors with me while I'm developing.
Mm-hmm. I definitely see that too. You give family. That's what I see for sure with your classes and
Yeah,
with your students and everything. It's a family atmosphere. You really make everyone feel like, and it seems like you really do care about the individual. And it's not just about them paying to come to a class, like you genuinely care about
right.
each person. And I think that makes a big difference too.
Yeah, it does 100% because if you if you're an actor out there and your coach or your teacher doesn't, if you feel like they don't care, if they don't ask the follow-up questions, if they don't push you, if you don't feel like that pull, from them, then get out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? As if you were running away from a burning building. Get out.
Right.
100%. Because your development is on the line. Like this gift that he's given us is for the people. It ain't just for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's for the masses.
Mm-hmm.
And it's for the people that are going to be affected and impacted, by your art. And it's serious. It's a calling.
Mm-hmm. For sure. So for someone considering joining the Actors District, what can they expect from the program?
Good question. You can expect growth. You can expect development. You can expect to be pushed. You can expect to get information that you probably wouldn't get anywhere else. You can, I'm sorry, somebody keeps calling. You can expect, you can expect, man, you can expect top-notch education. You can expect love. You can expect acceptance. You can expect patience. You know what I mean? Patience in your development. You know what I mean? You can expect it all. So,
So do you have all levels? So if someone's new,
mhm.
can they come to your class or all of your people advanced? Because I've been to your class and you definitely got advanced in your class. So
Yeah,
does that intimidate new people or do you have a slower pace for them or how does that work?
that's a really good question. Yes and no, in the sense of I don't necessarily slow down the pace. It's just that the level of teaching makes you want to level up.
Mm-hmm.
So we have people that have just started. We have people that have been in the game for a while, and we have 100% people that are seasoned. And that's the thing. The level of information is going to be the same, but it's so I teach on a very individual basis. So whoever's up in front of me, I could say, okay, today we're going over what we have we call contextual archaeology, right? So we've developed this system called the 5 pillars of scene study and acting, along with the 4 quadrants of being. And so I could take one of those high bar concepts and then break it down to and just break it down into simpler terms. So, for example, if I'm talking about contextual archaeology and you're brand new, it really is just a matter of asking the right questions. Who is your character? What do they want? What's getting in the way of what they want? Who is getting in the way of what they want? Where in the script, or how do they go about going to accomplish that? What's going on around them? Just making them, situationally aware, as if in real life. And I try to relate it as much as possible to what we do in real life. Like, well, who are you? Where are you? What do you want? What's going on around you right now immediately? And so if I can get an actor to relate to themselves and then take that relation and relate it to what the character's perspective and worldview is, then we got something rocking.
Does your class also teach, because since COVID, they stopped a lot of the going into auditions. So do you also teach how to audition via camera?
All forms. We teach everything. And that's a really good question, because it just hit me like 3 weeks ago that we have been not going into in-person auditions for about 5 years now. The game has completely changed, for the better, for the worse, or what have you. So we teach camera placement, stillness, subtlety. When you're auditioning, what does that look like for the camera?
Right.
How do you stand out? Because now, casting directors at one time, when they would have just, like, let's say maybe 200 people to kind of sift through in the audition process, now it's literally thousands.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like it's a good thing that you can do online, but then it's also horrible because it's so many more people now that you're up against. So yeah, I was just curious on that, because that's one of the things that when I was looking at the different classes, that's one of the things that a few of them weren't teaching, and I'm like, okay, they're missing a big part of what's really happening right now, because a lot of people do need that as well, because they can be the best actors, they're learning all the tools, have all the resources, and then when they get in front of just a blank screen, they freeze up because then they don't know the camera placement, they don't know what to do and how to still do that role and make it feel real when you're just doing it to a camera. So that's kudos to you.
And it's to our advantage too, because you're for most actors, which, and I get it, but most actors nowadays don't touch the stage at all, which is a shame. So most actors, of course, get into film work, because it's you have access to more people. So to that end, for on-camera study, we study things, of course, like I said, micro expressions, subtleties. Your blinking ratio, because that was one of the problems I had early on. Like when I saw myself, I was like, yo, I blink way too much. Like, what in the world? And how technically proficient you have to be on camera. With all of those things. It's because camera is such a technical situation.
For sure. Okay, so what are some of your proud moments in terms of your students' achievements and the impact of the Actors District?
Oh, that's so dope. All right, so first I got to shout out one of our students, Karen. She's Man, when she came, one of our students came, she was, super duper brand new, and like within a year, maybe a year and a half's time, she was blasted like all over Penn Medicine's like, commercial campaigns. She was on billboards, she was booking herself like crazy. We've had students, we've trained students to get into Juilliard. We've had students get into the Identity School. With those of you who don't know, Identity School is the British school that Cynthia Erivo, John Boyega, and all of those British cats, they go over there to, they've gotten to go over there, and they come through that program.
Mhm.
The Damson Idrises, the David Yellowos, and all of those British cats. So we had a couple of students get into that, and then they just book like crazy.
That's good.
Yeah, a lot of the students really start to book like crazy, and I think another one of the crowning moments is two things. Is now they're starting to develop into directors,
Mm.
writers, producers, which is really cool. Um, and outside of them just booking major work, you know, seeing them recognize that they're growing and seeing
Right.
all happening it's just really, 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 really dope.
That's awesome. During the Actors District and doing your trainings and everything, do you ever have casting directors or people come by and pick up your students or like your
100,
actor showcase and stuff? Do y'all do those there?
yeah, 100%. So our showcases, we haven't had a lot of showcases, to be
Okay.
honest with you. So, but we do have a lot of, because I know that's a common thing with, with acting schools. They'll have a big showcase. We do something a little bit different. We so we have people come through all the time and cast out of our school and look to our school to cast all the time.
Hmm.
One of the things that they say is that we haven't seen training like this anywhere. Like, they'll be like, I've been all over Atlanta. I have never seen training like this.
Hmm.
I haven't seen the energy, haven't seen the passion, and definitely the level of information. I haven't seen it anywhere. So they're always blown away by that. But what we do is different. We have in-house competitions,
Hmm.
called the Racket and the Bracket, where the students face off against each other. And like right now, we're about to have one on the 13th. So I invite you to be a judge. Oh, I would love for you to come through and be a judge.
I would love
Um,
that.
yeah. And so what it is like it's like a playoff style bracket where right now we're doing in-depth scene work. So all the students have the same scene, and whoever killed the scene the best, they move on like a playoff style. And then at the end, it's one group beats them all. So we'll do that for scene work, monologue work, exercises. So we do like an in-house competition thing, which is really cool.
That sounds like that's cool.
Yeah.
What would you say is some of the common challenges you see aspiring actors face, and how does the Actors District address them?
Mm. Discipline in the training,
Mm.
like flat out, flat out. Most actors, I'm not gonna say most actors, that's unfair. A lot of actors, because we're living in the age of streaming and the phone, and anybody can pick up a camera and just shoot nowadays. A lot of actors bypass the training component. So what winds up happening is you get people that are, and I say this all the time in class, a lot of people are more caught up with having charisma and energy and no toolbox, no skill set, no technique.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? A lot of zest, but no, where's the technique at? Where's the skill set at? You could be popular and still be mediocre. I say that all the time. You could be popular and still be mediocre. We know a lot of actors like that.
Yeah.
So what we address is the discipline and the training, your instrument, the tonality of your voice, the linguistic dexterity of your delivery, the cadence of your delivery, how you hold your body, the instrument itself, because ideally each character should hold their body different. They
Mm.
should sound different. And what are the techniques and the exercises to get your voice to have a particular kind of melody, a particular kind of flow? And how do you, most actors will say, yeah, I want to be a versatile actor, but what does that mean to like become a true chameleon, in the game? Like, what does that mean to understand the life and the spirit of a character and giving it a physical aesthetic? What does it mean to sound like somebody, like if you're from Atlanta and you have a character that's from Boston, what does that mean to even translate, to make it believable that you come from the Northeast or you come from out West? Like, what does it mean to really assume not just the dialect, but the body posture
Right.
of wherever you're from? So I think we're perfectly designed to help actors accomplish all of those things.
Definitely. So I've been thinking this and wanting this for a good minute, and I should have asked this at BBR. What inspired you to establish the Actors District? And what was your
Um,
initial vision for it?
so that's man. So the initial vision was I was studying at I was teaching rather at the top acting school in Philly,
Okay.
and at the time, and I just didn't feel like we were servicing the actors right, because I wanted to do a lot of different things as related to on camera things and the information that I was giving and things of that nature. And I didn't feel like in that particular organization we were doing the best job. And then I was under somebody, so I really couldn't usurp anybody's authority, and nor would I.
Mm-hmm.
So I was at the height of that frustration, and then I had a student named Dave. Shout out to my man Dave Van Long. Dave came up to me at the time. He was 18, 19 years old. He came up to me, B, and he was like, "Yo, Toe, I love acting now. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I fell in love with acting. I love how you teach. I love the classes." He said, "But today's my last day." And I said, "Well, Dave, what you going to be doing?" He said, "Well, if I'm not acting, I'm gonna be in. I got no other recourse but to be in these streets." And he comes from the same area of North Philly I came from.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, well, if you're not in the class, and I just instantly knew that it wasn't going to go well for him being out in the streets, and he didn't have any artistic outlet. So 2 weeks later, I started the Actors District, for Dave to have a place to come to and all the other actors to have a place to come to. So I said, Dave, and at that time we were doing 3 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And I said, Dave, yo, come to the Actors District. You don't have no excuse now. None. And he said, I told you I can't pay. And I was like, I'm not asking you to pay. You know what I'm saying? I don't, your money is no good with me. I just need you in school Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And I just need you to hustle.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Why, when you're in the class, I just need you to bust your hump and grind while we in class. And that's it. And the original, the overall vision for the Actors District is to be the Motown of training programs, meaning we have wonderful actors. We've built a tremendous writers' room, and now we are about to start producing and releasing original content.
I love it. I love it. And how did you come up with the name, the Actors District?
Oh, yo, so like I said, I was born in DC.
Right.
Right. So the District of Columbia, the Actors District. So if you notice, the logo is similar to the DC's logo. So, but DC has 3 stars and 2 stripes. So, and plus I was a fan of Run DMC when I was a shorty, so I just kind of combined it. So you have the Actors District.
I love it. I love that you were intentional about what you set out to do, and you already had a plan in mind and had the vision and
Yeah.
had the courage to go out there and do it. So that's always really cool to have that vision and not be afraid. But I do want you to also talk about how hard was it to start and to really get your footing, because people see the Actors District now and they're like, oh my God, it's so big. Oh my God, you're doing it, you're doing it, you're doing it. But there are lows with every company, especially when you start them, and people only see the top and don't think
Right.
that you have lows. So
That's
can you
right.
talk about some of yours?
So starting was hard because I didn't have a place. And shout out to James Williams, who was a councilman in Philly. I met him at a panel discussion. He was like, "Hey, man, I got a building if you want to start." And it was a very small, must have been like a 500 square feet, if that, maybe 400 square feet, if I'm being honest, of a daycare center on the backside of the Roxborough section of Philly. And we stayed there for 5 years. And
Wow.
I'm going to be honest. I love the fact that this is transparent talks. For the majority of those 5 years, we barely could pay rent. So it was extremely hard some days. Like I wanted to give up so many times. Like literally, I was like, yo, this is my last day. And then we had a three day a week format. And then I started to feel the burnout. During the holiday months, you normally would have a drop off of students because,
Right.
but it was extremely hard. You know what I mean? But it was this, I felt again an obligation to the students. Like if I give up and shut the doors, where are they gonna go? Because I know they're not gonna necessarily go out there and get what I'm giving them, at
Right.
all. Because again, there are a lot of teachers that know a lot. I know a lot, but I don't think that's where my superpower is and what I know. I think my superpower is that God has given me a gift to see. Like I see people. You know what I mean? Like I see where they're supposed to be and I see where they are. And just like the Matrix, I see what it's going to take to get them there.
Yeah.
So I see people. And I think that's what gives me the advantage. Like I see you. Like anybody that comes in front of me, it's like I get a download. And I know exactly what to tell you, what buttons to push, you know what I mean? And what tactics, what exercises, what techniques is going to get you there. And it's a divine connection that I have. And that's my superpower. So I really can't even take no credit.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. Do you think your experience working as an actor has helped your coaching methods?
100%. Because a particular school that we came out of, like like in Philly, there's this theater company called Theater in the X, and they do live theater in Malcolm X Park in West Philly. All of them guys, I came up with the Brian Anthony Wilsons that I came up under mentorship. So there was a particular standard that I was raised by. You know what I mean? On the stages of Freedom Theater, going to Uta Hagen School, HB Studios in New York, getting trained out there, trained in LA. There was a particular standard that was instilled, in me as it relates to, like I said, articulation, just the execution of your craft is everything. The understanding of your craft, the different filmmaker friends that were true like cinephiles, you know what I mean? That had their favorite directors, had their favorite DPs, and could tell you what lens they used. And I'm sitting there like, oh my God. And why it's important to be able to have your acting skill set complement their filmmaking skill set so that as a whole, you guys are, creating a whole project. So I try to instill that 100% in my students, almost at a fault, because my standard is so high that sometimes I'm in this phase now where I think it might be a little bit. I don't want my standard to become a stumbling block for some actors. You know what I mean? Because I know that we go hard, and some people may not learn in that way. And we're in a new day and time where that standard isn't necessarily like pushed. So, some students is like, oh my God, like, come on, you're killing me. But so I'm in a stage now where I'm trying to balance that, because I want to uphold the standard, push the culture forward, and at the same time, I do have to recognize that we're in a new day, we're in a new day and time, and I don't want to I don't want to turn anybody off at the arts, but we used to get properly cussed out if we didn't do anything right. You can't do that.
Right. People sensitive now.
Right, right.
I have two more questions for you.
Mhm.
So you had a chance to be one of the panelists at BBR Indie Films. What was your experience?
I felt wanted. I felt appreciated. I felt like I was on a panel. Like, I think one of your superpowers was that I really appreciated the quality of panelists that I was surrounded by. I thought it was really, 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 really dope. I
Thank
thought it was segmented really, really, really well. Like you had and the curation of the films were really, really good. Oh man, I haven't man, Amanda Glass has stopped by the class a few times. Man, I had a chance to, connect with Keisha, the lawyer. Oh my gosh. So it was just the atmosphere of there's like networking events, but then there's like, true networking events like yours. It was that. Like I felt appreciated, and the aesthetic was really, really cool. The movie theater was cool. The grill was cool. Your sons are out of control. Your sons are so dope. So I love the service that you're providing for us, bar none.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So my final question as we wind down is how does people connect with you, get involved with the Actors District? Is there an auditioning process to get in, or can people just pay to get in, or how does that work?
That's a good question. We should start making people audition. But no, there's no auditioning process. Every Tuesday, we're at Modex Studios. Shout out to Tasha White, who's the owner of Modex Studios. We're in collaboration with the Actors District. Big shout out to her, first and foremost. She's so dope. Man, shout out to just dope Black women, man. Y'all rock. So just show up on a Tuesday. Every Tuesday, we take in audits. You can DM us and get an invite. Check on Eventbrite and show up on Tuesday. And if you like what you see, if you like what you experience, then after Tuesday we talk about it. And if you want to sign up, go ahead and sign up. There's definitely a cost to it, not just financial, but more important than financial, you're going to have to put in that sweat equity because we don't play. None of our audits sit down and just chill. You know that.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely know that. I came in to just get a sneak peek, and you immediately was great putting me to work. I said, "Uh-oh."
Yeah. Yeah,
Only
don't come through if you're not ready to work.
right. Only because I literally was just popping in because I had to go someplace else. So I definitely wasn't. I was like, oh man, I didn't realize you really do put people to work.
Well,
So
let me ask you this: real talk? What did you experience when you came in? Like full out, if you can remember.
I saw the passion that you had, and the whole class was in full awe and listening to every single word that you was saying. And right when I was about to leave, you had just got everybody up, and y'all was about to get into your scenes and different things like that.
Mhm.
And then people were ready, like hanging on to every word that you said. And I remember thinking, man, he's pulling their attention like that. Like, I mean, glued to your words. And I was very impressed. I
Word.
didn't get to, like I said, I didn't get a chance to see the whole thing because I really did. I got the message and I came through, but I had some place that I had to be. I had to be in the studio that was
Yeah.
paying, so I had to go. So I didn't get a chance to really see, but what I did see, I was like, wow, honestly.
Yeah, listen, if I know your May is booked, but if you can, I mean, just on air, I would love for you to be one of our judges.
Yeah, I could do that. I could definitely do that. Um, what I have to do right now, because we are running out of time, is I
Mhm.
have to tell everyone thank you for tuning in to Transparency Talks podcast, Toby. I'm going to get with you after this and call you on the phone.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
With that, everybody, we are out of here and we're going to talk to you guys later. Peace out, y'all.
Peace.